Hey everybody, it's your girl Pjamma from Pjamma Life. I always visit. But today, welcome back. If you're new to us, and if this is your first time, welcome to Pjamma Life. And today we're going to review the new Disney Plus series, WandaVision, the first after the Avengers Endgame, which we believe, might continue the stories of the Marvel superheroes into the expanded universe. So today I'm here, it's Pjamma, and why don't I have my fellas introduce themselves?
Hello everybody, this is David. Hope you are enjoying this new year. We had some good news last week, and now we're kicking things back off into this wonderful Marvel universe.
All right.
And this is Patrick. I'm just glad to be here. I want to help the team. That's what you're supposed to say, isn't it? Full Durham. So, just glad to see everybody's here. I'm really excited about the new stuff that's coming out. Got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So why don't we get started with our first, I can't believe we're already here for WandaVision. So why don't we get ready to look at the trailer for episode, they did a two episode dump this week. So, which was great because that made a lot more sense. So why don't we take a look at the trailer?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about.
Marvel Studios presents its first series on Disney Plus.
I think something's wrong here, Wanda. The neighbors, it's the way they look at us.
Are you here to help? This is our home, and it's all falling apart.
Then let's go for it.
Marvel Studios WandaVision.
You are incorrigible.
First 2 episodes streaming tomorrow on Disney Plus.
All right. So that trailer maybe not have talked about the two ones we we took a look at, but has some more information about later episodes. And so why don't we what the series I'll give it just a brief synopsis. The series has Wanda and Vision popping into classic kind of TV shows, and these 2 episodes from the late 50s, and the second episode is Bewitched, which was kind of 60s and early 70s. So here we have Wanda and Vision coming into as classic suburban couple, and meeting characters such as Agnes, her neighbor, the Hearts, his boss, Vision's boss at the computational center, and his wife. I forgot her name.
Maximoff.
Huh?
The wife of the boss, or the wife of
the wife of the boss.
I can't remember her name, but I know who she played. She played Kitty and all the 70s show.
The 70s show.
Joanna
Ruff. Deborah Jo Ruff. And so that was the first episode. Then the second episode, they kind of enter into a Bewitched series, and she and Vision are in this town, Westview, and they are getting ready to perform for the town talent show for the children. You keep hearing this phrase, for the children, and it's kind of a creepy cult-like mantra. And the main person, Agnes, pops up again, and Agnes introduces her to Dottie, who's the town queen bee, and runs the show, so you think. And Wanda and Vision have to perform in this community talent show. That's kind of what I'll say, but things aren't what they seem. They're dropped into these things, but things aren't what they seem. And as you saw in the trailer, there's a question that comes up: is Wanda who is doing this to you? And it's very subtle, and there's some other subtle Easter eggs that you might want to catch. And so I'll talk about those. But fellas, talk about your impressions of episode 1 and 2 of WandaVision.
Well, go ahead, Dave. You go first. You're in the middle.
All right, fair enough. Well, to me, it was fascinating. One, I absolutely love those old sitcoms from the 50s and the early 60s. Great homage there to the Dick Van Dyke Show with Mary Tyler Moore. Even his boss, Mr. Hart, looked a little like Mel, which was Dick Van Dyke's boss there in that. A little bit of I Love Lucy going on. There's certainly a Twilight Zone aspect, because we know that it's not quite right, and love how they can put in. You'll see, like, there was a red toy helicopter, and people who know Marvel and this world a little better than they'll understand what the name on that helicopter probably meant more than I did. But obviously, you're in a black and white world, and here this is just kind of sitting there. Absolutely kind of mesmerized by what we're seeing here. I think the supporting cast, and when we go back around, I'll talk a little bit about that. But I was really kind of just entranced by it. It's like, okay, this is very different than what we've had. So this is kind of a new world for me. So I'm open. Let's see what happens, because it was pretty weird and mysterious going on here. Patrick, what about you, man?
I like both of them. God, they were so good about the way they got the sets were perfect recreations of both the Dick Van Dyke Show and the Bewitched one.
Yeah.
And, obviously they'd taken some time, did the right thing. I mean, these shows looked good. They had that same kind of feel as far as the dialogue and everything. I mean, they did a real good job. But, there were, like you said, the weird little things like when she went out and found the helicopter and the little toy helicopter and the stuff, and it was the only thing that had color in it, which is very Pleasantville-ish. Where it's obviously, in Pleasantville, everything that was colored was really important. It's supposed to bring you into the next, to help get you out of whatever it was. And so you're looking at that, okay, well, that's important, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and you don't, and really the first 2 episodes don't give you an idea really of where it's going. Yeah. Because it was very open-ended. I mean, it was just, they're starting to feel like there's something weird going on, but there's a lot of things in there. Second time around, I'll talk about some of the stuff, but, what did you think, Pam?
I was at first, I have to look at things twice, because the first time I'm so excited, then I don't catch all the nuances. And then I started catching some of the nuances, the subtle nuances. I think a couple important things I think maybe going forward to always look at are the commercials. And the first commercial was, "This is your home now," or something like that. And then the second commercial, where there was a seductive evening out, introducing the Stucker watch, which was a German watch. And then the watch had a Hydra symbol in it. And I was like, oh, Hydra's involved some kind of way. And then there was another, so some of the Easter eggs I caught on the second go round, when the guy was chewing in the first episode and he started to choke, and Agnes said, she was laughing, stop it. And then she turned to Wanda and said, stop it. And then that's when Wanda kind of clicked and told Vision to help him. And so Vision used his power and pulled out the meat. And so then they're starting to reveal themselves. And I thought that was really interesting. And at the end of that episode, it showed something about somebody was watching them. And then you saw a notebook with the symbol of the sword. And so the sword is is a organization in Marvel that's kind of the counterpart to SHIELD, where they fight intergalactic threats. So I'm not sure yet how it's going to fit in, because the Beekeeper also had the shield on his emblem, and the helicopter had the sword emblem on the helicopter. So I was like, oh, and then another little Easter egg was Geraldine. So Geraldine, I think, is going to play a very pivotal role, because her brooch was the same kind of symbol that you see in Doctor Strange when he opens up a portal. It's that little fiery kind of circle that looked like that. I thought, I don't know, I could be wrong, but, and is she the daughter of Captain Marvel's friend? I think she became a superhero.
She becomes Captain Marvel. Yeah, she actually becomes Captain Marvel in the books.
Right. I forget her name, but I think she might. I don't know. Monica LeBeau. She might be. I don't know. She might be. I don't know. But I think it's something going on with Wanda, that she doesn't want to leave this vision. I mean, she doesn't want to leave this fantasy. Right. Because she keeps saying, this is our home now. And then when she was kind of confronted with it, she said no. And then they immediately popped back into their house. And then the scene changed from black and white to color. So I think that maybe Wanda, this is some kind of, it's either, I don't know, we'll see, but it's either a prison of her mind, and she's recreated this world, or she's imprisoned somewhere and she's in a menagerie with maybe the Collector or some other kind of, being. I don't know. I could just be projecting, but it better be something. It better not just be her in these different things. They better have something connected to the.
Well, she could just be like Bobby in the shower, like in Dallas.
Oh,
they had that whole season.
Oh, God.
Patrick Duffy was back, and Bobby was like, hey, would you believe my dream?
Good dream, eh?
Oh, Bobby, I just had a terrible dream.
It was Pam. Oh, that was Pam's dream. So we've got the whole Dallas thing going on here. I forgot that.
That may come up in one of these episodes. I mean, they're revisiting classic TV. It may be there.
That was super classic. Unless Vision gets shot, and then it's who shot Vision. But yeah, I'm hoping. But those are some of the Easter eggs. Did you guys find some other ones? Pat, you're a big Marvel. Why did you see some?
Well, yeah, actually, one that I think is really going to be important going through this. Okay, everybody, if you look at the trailer again, you look at the part where they got them wearing the classic costumes, the big high collared thing for Vision, and the red face thing for the Scarlet Witch. She's a witch. I mean, she was actually a mutant, and the person who taught her witchcraft was a old witch. She's really big. She's in several of the books still. She's like one of the mentors, kind of like an ancient one, or someone. Agatha Harkness was her name. So you see Agatha Harkness is the next door neighbor, doing all this stuff, and maybe I'm thinking that she's going to be brought somehow into this, because I mean, she was a very big character in the magical instruction of the Scarlet Witch, Doctor Doom. I'm trying to think. She's actually teaching at Strange Academy in the current books right now. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on but that could be a really big pull in. And I suspect that in the books also, Wanda Maximoff is the daughter of Magneto, one of the most powerful mutants.
Really?
Yes. Her and Pietro are both his kids.
They said Pietro, but they never said her, because Quicksilver was his son. So
well,
that's where they kind of messed up in the movies.
Yeah, because that wasn't technically MCU. Yeah, that wasn't really the MCU. That was still the Fox version. So they were, because Fox has had all the rights to mutants, and so they weren't able to really put any of these mutants in there into the Avengers and what have you. But Scarlet Witch was a mutant. And that was what her probability powers came from, is her mutant abilities. But then she also had like magical training, which is what the Agatha Harkness came in. So you get all these. There's a lot of things kind of lean and make me believe that maybe this is their way of introducing the mutants now that they own the rights to the X-Men and all this other stuff that's coming in. Maybe this is their foray to introduce mutants into the MCU.
Now, will because my question was this. I think the next movie to come out is Doctor Strange, and
Black Widow.
Which one?
Black Widow.
Oh yeah, Black Widow. But that
don't make that face. It's gonna be good.
I hope so, because she's one of my favorites. So they better not mess it up. But why is they taking so long? I mean, I'm getting down to the vernacular. Why is they? I need to know why that movie has taken so long, because that was supposed to be out last year.
One word, COVID. They don't want to do the direct-to-video thing. They want to put it in a theater. They make the money back. That's their whole thing. I understand why they've held it off, but yeah, it doesn't help. I want to stay interested that much.
Yeah, I mean, because I get worried when movies take a long time and then they release them. They have to then go ahead and release them. And then you're like, oh, kind of Wonder Woman 1984. But that's why I'm wondering if this is a tie-in to Doctor Strange, and kind of they'll have some elements of that coming in and out. I don't know. I hope it does lead up kind of to one of the movies that's coming out. So we'll see about that. But talk more about what you thought of the two characters, Wanda and Vision, in these two episodes. Because I thought go ahead,
please.
No, go ahead.
Well, I really enjoyed the interactions. Obviously, they were themselves, but in this sitcom versions with that, I love their interactions. I think they've got great chemistry on screen. You've got two really wonderful actors who are bringing these characters to life. I love the setting. Again, just the whole setting of it. Pat made a comment, though. I think this is a good time to hit on this. Now, I'm not as familiar, and some of the Marvel folks that are watching, it's like, why is he on here? He doesn't know anything about the comics. I wasn't familiar with the Agatha person, but I'll tell you this, Catherine Hahn, the actress who is portraying her, she is fantastic. And
She's
if you've seen her in anything, find her work. She is great. And so the fact that she is here in this character, kind of over the top, fun neighbor.
Yeah.
But here from what Pat's saying, and you kind of seen the look in her eyes at times, there's another hidden agenda here. This is a character to really watch. This is a really tremendous performer, great range, great comedy, great drama. She shines in everything. So the fact that they've got someone of her caliber in a supporting role, I am really excited about, really thrilled with. Yeah. She is fantastic.
I mean, she's a great comedian. She's a great actor. She does drama. I love her and the thing she did in this, when she was at the little girls prepper meeting, and she was like, oh, the only way I'm gonna get through this is with alcohol. Am I right? I mean, she just everything she does is funny. And it was interesting too, that little interaction with the mailman when she was like, pew, pew. And I was like, something's going on. Yeah. But I actually think that maybe the boss's wife might be the witch who's the instructor. I mean, the mentor. I wondered, because she was the one that told Wanda to stop him from choking and to kind of subtly use your powers. And it seems that when Agnes comes in, she kind of distracts Wanda from figuring something out, because right when Wanda's found the helicopter, then here comes Agnes. Right when Wanda's having some kind of difficulty at the thing. Then here comes Agnes. So I wonder if she's actually a part of the control that they're using for whatever reason to manipulate Wanda into staying in that reality. So we'll see. I don't know. I could be totally wrong and I could just be, but it seems like something more sinister is going on with her. Maybe not. I hope not, because I love her as a good guy. So I don't want to see her as a villain. I don't like when my good characters turn into villains. Even though sometimes they make the best villains is the people who have been super nice or good. Then when they turn villains, it's like, oh my God. Like John Lithgow. Whenever he's a villain, I'm like, oh my God, he's such a great villain. But yeah, so we'll see. Pat, what did you think?
Well, you hit some good points. I'm just interested to see where they're going to go with this. I mean, you kind of mentioned how, and just in the keeping with the realities of the shows, I really enjoyed the way during the Bewitched segment, they started out in black and white. At the very end, they did that color pan. Because if you remember, Bewitched, when it first started out, was in black and white, but when it ended, it was in color. And I was like, well, God dang, that's just such a nice little cherry to put on that whole thing to really have proper reverence for the old shows, that we all grew up watching. We all grew up watching in the afternoons when we were homesick from school, or younger generations watched it on Nick at Night, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I got it, man. It was really good. Like I said, I don't know where they're going to go with this. I mean, the first 2 episodes offered really no clues, and I have a feeling, and I really hope it's true, that when they get to the end, we're going to look back at all these things, and will have been like hundreds of clues that we just didn't catch.
Right.
And you just like watching The Sixth Sense the first time. You watch through it, you're like, I don't know, and all of a sudden, whoa! And then you watch it again, you're like, oh hell, they were telling us the whole time, I just didn't pick it up. I'm hoping that happens again with this.
Yeah.
There's a plan. I think.
Definitely.
Very comfortably. There is a real plan, and we're on a ride. We don't know where we're going with this, and that kind of makes it fun. Yeah. Like you can really enjoy stories. Like, I don't know where we're going. I don't know what we're doing. Some people who are watching this, as we talk about the shows that we grew up with, have an affection for. Some of this is probably going to be lost on some of the generation that's watching this. What is this black and white? Even the Pleasantville, or like MTV, those things probably. Yeah. Some of the folks are like, I'm not seeing that either.
Right.
And if you fall into that, if you're watching this session and you fall into that, go back and watch those old shows because they're really, really fun. They are really fun. Don't take them real. It's fiction, but they were really fun 30-minute entertainments.
Yeah. So the TV show, and go and watch Pleasantville. I think that is one of the most subtle discussions of race and segregation and learning how to overcome those things, and in very smart way they did that. So definitely check out Pleasantville as something to kind of clue you in, maybe, because there might be some clues in there in this kind of movie. But I think that there was also kind of some Stepford Wife kind of stuff going on, where there's this kind of perfect Dottie, and she's perfect, but something is not right with her. Like, remember in Stepford Wife when it kind of glitched and the wife kind of was, not functioning the way she should. So I think there's some of that going on in there too. So there's developing cracks in the people, because nobody seems to know why they're there. So I'm also wondering if Wanda kind of pulled in people from, the world and stuck them in this land so that she could, deny the reality of what happened in Endgame. So it would be interesting. It's just so many places they could go that, it's infinite. It's infinite. Excelsior.
But that is the Twilight Zone aspect of this. There was
Yeah.
a great Twilight Zone episode. You had all of these different people. There was a ballerina, there was a soldier, there was a I don't know if it was a cowboy. Well, anyway, we found out they were talking and trying to figure out how they got where they were. They were all dolls in some child's toy box.
Oh,
Found that out
wow.
at the end. So
Wow.
when you said about pulling them in, that kind of made me think of that. And it's
Uh-huh.
again, it's channeling all of those old things, those old
Yeah.
shows, including the Twilight Zone or the Outer Limits. That kind
Yeah.
of deal.
Yeah.
We're in for a ride. I mean, I'm buckled up and I'm ready to go.
Yeah. And let's see, Dwayne says that Pleasantville was in 1998. Boy. So the
Yeah.
millennials and the young people might not even have seen it.
That's
So they might not even been born yet. So I think that and as I was watching the show, and it took me back to the Dick Van Dyke and Bewitched and Leave It to Beaver and all those kind of shows. Those shows were created to signal to women and to welcome these men back home from the war. Here's an idealized version of life in America. And it was kind of some propaganda going on too. So because I thought it was interesting. Now looking back, I'm like, the women were at home and they were docile and they were, had perfectly dressed and coiffed, and the kids were always perfectly dressed, and the husband came home and his dinner was ready and everything was just perfect. And
those were the days.
no, but that wasn't reality though.
It never was.
It was never reality. And so, that I think is a parallel that they, are playing with too.
Definitely.
That is really interesting when you go back and you think about those shows. And now with our knowledge, it's interesting. So we'll see. I think it's going to be an interesting, fun ride. But definitely when you watch, I think with WandaVision, I think you have to watch it twice. Once to watch it when you're excited, but then the second time, go back and try to find Easter eggs that you might have missed, because I think some of those things will become important. And it seems like with Disney Plus products or, TV shows and movies, they have all these the first episodes are always going to tie back in at the last episode. So they're going to bring it all together and it'll make sense what was happening then and then what was happening now. So I hope I'm like, I want these episodes to be an hour long.
Well, if you're trying to follow the format of the original TV shows, they were 30 minutes long too. So
yeah, they were 30 minutes. And so I think maybe just the first two were released, but then I think each week we'll only get 30 minutes episodes, or maybe 32 minutes. So, and I think it's slated for maybe 9 episodes.
Okay.
So it's not going to be very long. So, which will be sad.
well, I mean, I suspect they're trying to keep the intensity going so they can go straight into Winter Soldier and Falcon, because that's going to be coming out soon. They're wanting to try to keep the Marvel product in front of everybody's eyes.
Yeah. So we'll is that the next one slated to
Yeah, it is.
come out this year? Okay.
February sometime, I think, towards the end of February, I believe.
Oh, okay. So it'll be WandaVision will end, and then they'll start the Winter Soldier and the Falcon. Oh, yeah. Okay. So
or maybe they'll be running concurrently. There may be some overlap. I don't know.
Right. Okay, that'll be good to know. That'll be good. Well, I think our time is about up. Do you all have any other tips or hints or things you saw for WandaVision?
Just like you said, research the old movies. If you really want to enjoy this the way us old folks do, go watch the old TV shows, and that way you can kind of get get how they really got it right.
Yeah.
It is a great piece of art, the way that they've kind of recreated it, and that hidden undertone of what's going on and what we're, and what's really in the real world versus the facade of this fiction to kind of escapism.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on, this is supposed to be an escape to bring some kind of peace, or something along those lines, to keep your mind off of the reality. But what is going on underneath the ground, underneath the facades of this black and white and now color. So it's going to be a fun ride to see. And all of the supporting cast, we mentioned Catherine Hahn, but everybody looks to be like some really talented folks. I think they're going to have some great opportunities there, all of those folks. So it's going to be some fun. Yeah,
I think it's going to be something. And what I love is I think it's going to be something unique. And but I think what you're saying is definitely true to other things in life, that their things look nice, but underneath there's something going on. So we will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
You're mixing DC and M. Oh my gosh. Can't do that.
We can do anything at Pjamma Life.
Yes, sir.
So we look forward to seeing you again next week. Also this week we will have an inauguration, and maybe we'll say a couple of words about how it goes. We're praying everything goes well, and that our nation is on the path to healing and restoration, and we will see. So, fellas, you want to say any last words before we sign off from the peoples?
Go ahead, Pat.
No, go ahead. I was just going to make a smart-ass comment. Go ahead.
I tell you, you talked about this. I got to get some dessert. I got to go have another one of those delicious Georgia peaches. We can keep doing that. That joke is not going to get old with me.
I see.
But it's a fact now. I can actually say impeach. It's okay because it's a fact of the newspapers. It's not a political possibility. But them peaches, it sure did taste good this week. That was good. A good start to getting things right.
And as someone from the Midwest, I would like to apologize for both Josh Hawley and that dipshit Marshall, that are both representatives of this area. We're not all like that. I just want to tell you, it's okay. Come to Kansas, Missouri. There are people that read books and everything here.
Hello. Jayhawk here. Lifelong Kansas resident, it's still my home. So the Midwest is full of people who are loving and kind. So you got jerks everywhere. That's just what it is. So, but please keep our nation's capital in your prayers, that everything is safe, and that everything flows the way that it's supposed to, and that we will hopefully begin to really tackle COVID. And we can only do that if people do the three things: wear a mask, safe social distancing, and what's the third thing?
Hygiene.
Wash your hands.
Wash your damn hands.
Wash your hands, please. And if we can do that, if everybody just takes a moment, not just think about yourself, but think about people beyond yourself. So please, people, just do that. And we can get this. We have almost 400,000 people that we've lost to COVID. So we really need to do something. And the simplest thing you can do, the very easiest thing, wear a mask. So I know that's a little more, well, it's not political. That's just common damn sense.
Current events.
That's just a caring statement that we're making here at Pjamma Life. Wear a mask, save a life. And that's the business we're in. So take care this week. Make sure that you tell somebody that you love them and receive love in return. So, and we're going to say, bye.
So long,
See ya.
everybody.